So I am about halfway up Yonah, carrying everything I own. Unfortunately, carrying far too much. Today we're just gonna goof around, play a little bit with my solo lead setup. So I forgot the helmet mount for my GoPro. So I'm gonna try to film this, but I don't know how just yet. He just took off, or he just landed, took off, did a loop, and he's coming back. Is he just doing touch and goes at the helipad? Apparently this is gonna be an all-day thing. So I'm up here at Yonah on a 5.6 that I'm very familiar with, and this is my rope solo lead setup. It's basically just a soloist with a chest harness, malleon to the master point, and then I've got I've got a 7mm and a piece of super tape webbing, so that's redundant. I have a micro traction to manage my cache loops, and since the soloist doesn't work if you go head first, I've got backup knots tied about every 10 feet. My rope's flaked out over there with my backup knots, and I've only flaked out about the first half of the rope because this route's only about 70 feet. And I will do my best to film it since I forgot my head mount for the GoPro. I have these 2 bolts equalized with a Super 8, and the first bolt I've got it just a slip knot around that so that it'll keep the bolts under tension. I got one of those on a malleon just so you don't have to worry about any cross-loading issues or anything. And this is for Troy. On belay, your belay is on. Climbing, climb on. I'm not sure how well this is going to work trying to film it with the tape holding the GoPro. Cache loop, get rid of that safety. And that's a little way, so I'm gonna put a slip knot on this one too, just in case. The slip knot stops the weight of the rope from pulling too much through the system here. And I'm at one of my safeties. At another one of my safeties. Probably tied them a little closer than I needed to for this trout. Nevertheless, could do another slip knot here. This route is easy enough that I can do the slip knots and the backups one-handed or with two hands, but I need to get better so that I can do them with one hand. Next bolt. It's different because when you pull up slack, when you're normally leading, you pull it up. In this case, you have to pull it down. So, just interesting. One of the little things you gotta get used to. Looks like I got a lot of options here, considering my next bolt's over that way. We'll do that option. Pulling a little more slack into my cash loop. Again, more slack to the cash loop, and then pull up to clip in. Pull a little more slack through. I'm right at a safety knot. We'll see if I need to yank it out before I get to the anchors. And I probably do. So just pull out that safety. More slack to the cash loop. And voila, I am at the anchors. put far too many backup knots in. Oh well, live and learn. At this point, I'm going to rappel it and clean all my gear. And then decide if I want to come back up and do it again. And do the next pitch, which I think I do.